Hi, this is Art. Great to be with you today. Hey, listen, as we get ready for this Go for the Gold contest that I know all of you are going to take advantage of and really work extremely hard, but at the same time help a lot of patients, and at the same time, earn a lot of extra money for you as well. I thought, wouldn't it be a great idea to actually talk to a gold medal winner? I think that'd be really interesting to hear how and what it takes to achieve such a high level of excellence on the athletic field. But we actually have a pretty neat, pretty cool thing today, and that is that not only is this gold medal winner someone who's achieved excellence on the athletic field, he's also achieved excellence in business and in sales as well. So with us today we have Doug Partee. So Doug has not only been successful on the athletic field, but also very successful in business for the last, ever since he finished his pro career into business, into the field of technology, being vice president of sales, vice president and co-owner of his own company. So Doug, welcome. Glad to have you here.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah, thank you very much. So before we get started and actually ask Doug a few questions, I tell you what, your athletic achievements are so impressive. I wanted everyone to really hear exactly what you've been able to achieve throughout your career in the sport of volleyball. So as you look at starting off in your collegiate career at UCLA, won the NCAA championship in volleyball, men's volleyball, 4 consecutive years. Each year you were there, and in 3 of those years being an all-time American. Quite impressive, and a good start in college. So that certainly led him into the international and Olympic career that he had. And in 1985, was part of a team that won the World Cup gold medal. In 86, the World Championship gold medal. In 86, also the Moscow Goodwill Games, a silver medal there with his team. And then the big one came in 88, and that was winning the Olympic gold medal in Seoul, Korea. And then to follow up in 1992 in Barcelona with the Olympic bronze medal as well too. After or somewhat in between all of those years as well, joined the Italian Professional Volleyball League in 1989 to 1993. And during that time as a professional, Doug was able to achieve significant achievements in the way of 1990-1991 All-Star team. They did win the Italian Cup Championship in 1989 and the European Championship in 1990. So again, the success just rolls on. And then following that, and like I said, in between as well, the professional 4-man beach volleyball tour. That was between 1991 and 96, span of about 5 years. And during that 5 years, 10 career victories. I know you were the team captain there for Team Speedo, which was quite one of the most prominent teams that was available on the circuit. 5 years as team captain, certain level of leadership presented there, and then 95 league MVP and all-league middle blocker, and then also too, and as part of that professional 4-man career, won the league championship in 1992. So I'll tell you, I mean, I could go on and on and on. These are just the highlights, but what a significant achievement throughout the years in the sport of volleyball. So, Doug, congratulations on all that. That's pretty amazing. Yeah. So I'll tell you, we got a couple of questions that we wanted to ask Doug, but I'll start off with the obvious one. I think that all Americans, when they watch the Olympics, think about it. And tell me, what does it feel like when you're on the podium receiving the gold medal? I mean, this, we're now saying that you have just achieved an accomplishment that sets you off as the best in the world. So none of us probably will ever, come close to feeling that way or winning such an achievement. So we're all always wondering, so what does that really feel like when you're up there and the Star-Spangled Banner's playing and the crowd's cheering and all of that?
Yeah, it's an incredible thing. People don't realize that back then we trained all year round. We didn't just come together for the Olympics. I joined the team in '85 and we trained year round. We got about 3 weeks off for Christmas and that was it. But the goal, and they call them quadrenniums because you're always aiming for the Olympics. And so our goal was to win the Olympics. And then when we did that, and it was the culmination of 4 years of hard work, I mean, just standing up there, just knowing that you represented your country, you represented it well, and you accomplished everything that you were setting out to do. And that's an amazing thing. And it's at that time the emotions just come pouring out because it's just all bottled up. There's a tremendous amount of pressure. You're playing for your country, but it's just an incredible thing. It's really hard to even put into words.
Yeah. So did you try to sing the national anthem, or?
You wouldn't want that. You wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, much like me as well too. So think about, as I read off your accomplishments, maybe you can help us understand, well, what is the intensity and performance level between, you were all conference, all league in high school, obviously, playing in Santa Barbara, right?
Yeah.
And then you go to UCLA, and here you win all 4 years as a national championship and NCAA championship. Then you go to the Olympics, and you have your pro career, your volleyball career. What's the difference between the level of intensity and performance as you go through those levels? What changed for you?
Well, high school, I didn't even start playing the game of volleyball until my sophomore year in high school. I was a basketball guy, and I had a coach that was very persistent in getting me out to play volleyball, something to do in the off season, and I'm thankful that he did. And by my junior year of high school, I was starting to enjoy volleyball more than I was basketball. And so then by my senior year, I was getting looked at a couple of bigger schools, UCLA, USC. I had the opportunity to go to UCLA, and I was green. I really didn't, I wasn't really highly recruited. I was basically a recruited walk-on going to UCLA. But I had the opportunity with a couple of injuries to get onto make the starting team as a freshman. But the level of competition between high school and college is night and day. And then really the Olympic team or it's actually the national team, is recruited out of the college ranks. And just to make that jump to the national team level, it's the jump from high school to college is big. The jump from college to the national team level is just astronomical. It's incredible. And it took me 1 year to start on my collegiate team. It took me 3 years to become a starter on the national team.
Jeez. And I imagine the pressure went up too.
And mainly it comes back to playing for your country. Whenever you're representing your country, you got to represent on the court, off the court, but that pressure you feel, it's like the golfers in the Ryder Cup. That's really, even though they play for millions every week, when it comes to the Ryder Cup and that pressure's on for playing for your country, it's a whole different ballgame.
That's great. Thanks. So obviously receiving the bronze medal in Barcelona in '92 is an incredible accomplishment, and that alone would have been a highlight of anyone's career. That was 4 years after winning the gold medal. So from your perspective, what do you think you guys were able to do or not do that did not result in winning that gold medal yet again, 4 years later after you had achieved it earlier?
Yeah, really the biggest difference between 92 and 88 for me, well, really for the team, is that after 88, the team splintered. We had been together 4 years, training together as a team for 4 years, leading up to 88. After 88, myself included, a lot of the guys went off to Europe to play professionally. And at that time, if you left the team, you were no longer considered an amateur and you could not come back. So I actually left the team in '88 thinking I was done with my national team career. 2 years after I left the team, it was in 1990, they changed the rules and allowed players to come back. I came back about a year and a half before the '92 games. A lot of guys didn't come back till about 6 months before the games.
Wow.
And that was really the big difference, is that we only trained together as a team for 6 months leading up to '92, whereas in '88 we trained together for 4 years.
Yeah.
Another thing for '92 that, we played Cuba for the bronze medal match. And what people don't know is that we had lost to Cuba 10 times in a row in various matches and various tournaments before that match. So it was a huge accomplishment to win the bronze. It was almost, standing up there to get the bronze medal was almost, for me, felt as important as the gold.
Yeah. No, that's great. Having seen the successes that you can have and the milestones that you have that aren't always as apparent, in the way of that end recognition are probably just as important as achieving the highest recognition that other people would see. So, and speaking about teamwork, think about that. We as an organization, as a sales organization, we have our districts, and they have anywhere from 7 to 11 team members in a district, all out doing their job. We're out by ourselves most of the time selling in our own territories, but yet we'd like to think of us as a team. So think about at the highest level when you're working with a team, just kind of what you talked about. What are the key components to make a great team?
I think, what in '88, what made us so successful is that I think everyone on the team understood their roles. Not everybody was going to be the star. The big stars were Karch Karai, Steve Timmons. Those were household names.
Yeah.
Doug Partee, frankly, who's he? But I understood my role,
Yeah.
and I knew what I had to do. We had great team chemistry, and really it was all, I think, just coming together, and we had a common goal.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same thing in business. You want the company to succeed, you want the team to succeed, you want personal success, but personal success won't come unless the team succeeds, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's really, I think, where the parallels are, and I think that's helped me both on the court and in volleyball I've had, and also in business.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. No, that's great. So after your volleyball days, you moved into business and now are co-owner of your own company. Please share with us, what your thoughts are the common skills, competencies that you thought that you applied possibly to your entire athletic career that you're applying now. How long have you been with your company?
Oh gosh, 14 years.
14 years,
Yeah.
and still continuing to be successful here in the San Diego area. So anything that you can see that what you did to be successful at sports is actually what you're doing as well to be successful at business?
And I got my start, basically as a glorified telemarketer in business, and there's a lot of parallels there too. I picked up the phone and hammered calls, and it's kind of like being at practice where you're not a starter, but you're there 4 hours a day working hard, but you're riding the bench during the games, right?
Yeah.
Here I am pounding the phones as a cold caller, basically just thinking, well, where's this going? But I was told, hey, you keep pounding it, things will start happening, and they did. You don't always see that while you're doing it, but it's a numbers game in sales, as you well know, and it worked out. So there's a lot of parallel there. And also the competition, nobody wants to lose, right? So, I go out and thinking like every time I contact somebody, it's almost a game whether, hey, I'm going to make this sale, get this transaction to happen or not.
Yeah,
so.
there's a common saying that says, are you playing to win or playing not to lose? And we say that a lot in sales, and it is one of those ones where if you are 100%, set against not losing, you're going to do everything you can, probably even more so, to win. Right? It's two specifically different things.
Yeah, you definitely cannot be afraid to lose.
Yeah.
And that's, if you're that way in business and afraid to take chances and afraid to pick up that phone and make those calls or get in front of that prospect, then it's not going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, great. So, as our sales reps are going to, move forward with, now we got a restructure in our organization. We got a great team set up. We just added a brand new product to sell to our existing product, Aspina. And now they're going to start, leading these sales meetings and going out and really making a whole new run at the end of this year, which ends in March of this year, and then we started next year on the new fiscal year. But any thoughts based on what we've talked about today, that any advice you'd give them as to what they should be thinking about, specifically to win this Go for the Gold contest? I mean, there's a lot of money at stake, and it's going to be what they're going to do anyways. But any advice you'd give them as to what they can do to be successful?
Pay close attention to your manager.
Hey, come on, I'm the director.
You're director. Okay.
I just got demoted.
Sorry. No, it's just be persistent, I think, and make the calls, do the things you need to do, lay the groundwork. The successes aren't built in a day, right? It's all that stuff that you do, all those steps, all those small steps you take along the way, and that foundation and groundwork and the hard work that you put in will culminate, hopefully in sales and success. And it's the same way on the court as it is in business. And I think what I was able to learn on the court definitely carried over, and that's the advice I would give, is just lay that groundwork, do the work every day that it takes, because it doesn't happen overnight. But if you do the work, good things will happen. Good.
All right. Well, hey, Doug, thanks a lot for taking a few minutes to chat with the team about your success and the accomplishments and what it took to get there. So I appreciate that.
All right. You're welcome.
All right. Thanks a lot, man.
All right.